Making headlines. The President and the First Lady attends the National Day flag ceremony. The President emphasizes the desire of the Maldivian people to remain independent, stating that this principle is the foundation of all his policies. And the President awards the highest honor for service to Maldivian nationalism to the late Hussein Salahuddin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Moizu and First Lady Sajida Mohammad attends the National Day 1446 flag ceremony. The special function held at the Republic Square commenced at 600 hours. The President and First Lady were accompanied by Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif, his spouse Aishat Afrin Mohammad, and other senior government officials. Upon their arrival, they were warmly welcomed by the Minister of Defense Muhammad Ghassar Mamoon and the Minister of Divehi Language, Culture and Heritage Adam Nasir Ibrahim. Moreover, the ceremony was attended by Speaker of Parliament, Chief Justice, Cabinet Ministers and ambassadors to Maldives, government officials and school students. The ceremony featured a flag hoisting activity followed by a special prayer that highlighted the significance of the occasion. The event concluded with the performance of the Maldives' national anthem by the Maldives National Defence Force MNDF military band. National Day commemorates the heroic efforts of Muhammad Taqur Khan in liberating the Maldives from Portuguese rule. This day serves as a solemn reminder of the resilience and sacrifices that have shaped the nation's independence. President Dr. Mohammad Moizu emphasizes the intrinsic desire of the Maldivian people to remain independent, stating that this is a principle in the foundation of all his policies.
The President made these remarks while addressing the nation during the National Day celebrations. In his speech, President Dr. Moiz highlighted that National Day is a moment for reflection on the country's past and an opportunity to gather renewed courage to build its future. He pointed out that the history has repeatedly shown the Maldives to be under the watchful eyes of foreign powers. The nation's heritage, he said, is a testament to the relentless efforts of our ancestors to defend the country against external threats. The President noted that the Maldivian people have always been heroes of freedom and it is in their nature to remain free. He stressed that his policies are built on this very foundation, which is why troops are not stationed in the Maldives today. He also mentioned the deployment of the latest technology to safeguard the country and the introduction of a special system of nationalism aimed at fostering education and awareness. This initiative, according to the President, is crucial for maintaining the nation's sovereignty. President Dr. Moiz further highlighted the historical importance of the seas as the lifeblood of the Maldivian people.
President Dr. Mohammad Moizu underscores the crucial importance of protecting the hearts and minds of all Maldivians from foreign influence. Speaking at the ceremony commemorating the National Day of the Maldives, President Dr. Moizu emphasized the need to protect the nation from external influences which extend to the psychological and emotional realms of its people. The President acknowledged the threats posed by certain foreign influences against the Islamic religion and national sovereignty of the Maldives, noted that these waves of globalization could potentially undermine the country. Highlighting how these waves can be easily influence children, President Dr. Moizu stated this effect can be observed by only a limited number of individuals. The President stressed that the foreign influences could potentially destroy societal unity and diminish the respect accorded to esteemed dignitaries and religious scholars. Furthermore, President Dr. Moizu emphasized the necessity of working hard to prevent foreign influences entering the hearts and minds of the younger generations, stating that the efforts must be equivalent to that of Maldivians to preventing beach erosion. The President called upon all parents, teachers and individuals to prioritize this and work hard to prevent the issue. Emphasizing the need for a unified approach, he urged Maldivians to uphold their values and collectively safeguard the nation from detrimental foreign influences. President Dr. Mohammad Moise awards the highest honor for service to Maldivian nationalism to the late Hussein Salahuddin.
The accolade was presented during an official ceremony at Darbaruge, held in conjunction with National Day celebrations. The Medal of Honor was accepted by the late Sheikh Hussein Salahuddin's grandson, Ahmad Shihab. The President recognized Hussein Salahuddin for his outstanding contributions to the advancement of the nation's core principles, including religion, language, heritage, and culture. Salahuddin's commitment to enriching Maldivian intellectual life and promoting national services through knowledge dissemination was particularly noted. The highest honor of service to Maldivian nationalism is the President's highest award, granted to individuals who have made exceptional contributions to Maldivian nationalism. Recipients of this honor receive a shield of honor. Hussein Salahuddin, renowned as one of the most innovative poets in Maldivian history, was a pivotal figure in upholding the nation's nationalistic values. His works on narrating the biography of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, demonstrates his deep knowledge and fluency in both Divehi and Arabic. Hussein Salahuddin began his education at the age of 14, arriving in Malé to further his studies.
President Dr. Mohammad Moise officially inaugurates the College of Divehi Nationalism, known as Divehi Gaumiyatuge Isvaru.
The college, dedicated to teaching the principles and pillars of Divehi nationalism, was established by the Ministry of Divehi Language, Culture and Heritage following an announcement by Minister Adam Nasir Ibrahim in January this year. The inauguration ceremony, held on National Day, marked the official launch of the college's 5 key areas of focus: Divehi language, history, digital technology, heritage and art. A dean has also been appointed to oversee each of these disciplines. During the ceremony, the members of the College Council were formally handed over their leadership roles, with President Dr. Mohammad Moise presenting them with their certificates of appointment. Speaking regarding the college, Minister Adam Nasir Ibrahim announced that the first subject to be taught at the college will be history, with a unique approach that distinguishes it from other institutions. The college aims to offer courses on the origins of the Maldivian people and other topics deeply rooted in the nation's identity. The Ministry of Divehi Language, Culture and Heritage is actively working on several initiatives under the guidance of President Dr. Moise to revive and promote national heritage. These efforts include the establishment of the College of Divehi Nationalism and a research center, the restoration of the National Printing House, and the language of national level Divehi language awareness programs.
President Dr. Mohammad Moise reveals that the College of Nationalism will evolve into a legally empowered institution dedicated to national heritage. In this statement, President Moise highlighted that over the past 9 months, the National Center for Heritage Research has undertaken a global study on identity preservation involving over 180 countries.
In his statement, President Dr. Moise highlighted that over the past 9 months, the National Center for Heritage Research has undertaken a global study on identity preservation involving over 180 countries. The research has equipped more than 800 experts from diverse fields of science and technology with fundamental principles of nationalism. The President emphasized that the College of Nationalism is set to become a pioneering institution in the Maldives, operating as a membership-based network focused on examining Maldivian heritage, culture and the history through scientific perspectives. He added that the goal is to integrate Maldivian nationalism into the daily lives of the people, underscoring the connection between identity and freedom, asserting that one cannot truly appreciate freedom without valuing their identity. Additionally, he pointed out that defending the sovereignty is crucial for safeguarding freedom. Furthermore, President Dr. Moise described this initiative as vital for the Maldives, stressing the need for citizens to understand the implications of national issues through knowledge and reason. He noted that the National Center for Heritage Research will be responsible for conducting research and translating significant scientific literature into Divehi. The President expressed hope that the college will bring transformative changes, with nationalist leaders providing guidance across various sectors of Maldivian nationalism.
Minister of Diveh Language, Culture and Heritage, Adam Nasir Ibrahim, emphasizes President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's dedication to restoring the original identity and skills of the Maldivian people. Speaking at the National Day ceremony held at Darubaruge, the minister noted that the president places significant importance on reviving the ancient virtues, identity and skills that define the Maldivian heritage. Minister Adam Nasir Ibrahim expressed his appreciation for the President's commitment to these values, highlighting the growing public interest in reviving the pillars and principles of Maldivian nationalism. He underscored the importance of rekindling knowledge of the nation's identity and history. As part of these efforts, a National Center for the Research of Maldivian Cultural Heritage has been established under the National Project for the Restoration of Maldivian Nationality. The center is currently preparing to initiate research focused on the culture, heritage and history of the Maldivian people. National Day commemorates the liberation of the Maldives from Portuguese rule and serves as a reminder of the enduring spirit and resilience of the Maldivian people. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif emphasizes the importance of safeguarding the economic and political independence of the Maldives during this year's National Day celebration. In his address, Vice President urged every Maldivian to commit to preserving the nation's sovereignty, reflecting on the heroic legacy of Muhammad Taqur Khan, who liberated the Maldives from Portuguese rule 465 years ago. He highlighted this historic jihad as a timeless example for all citizens. He called on everyone to draw inspiration from this legacy and reaffirm their dedication to maintaining the country's independence. Additionally, Vice President reaffirmed his commitment to protecting the nation's sovereignty, vowing to prevent any threats to its independence. He also extended his best wishes for a happy National Day and encouraged citizens to continue their service to the country. National Day, observed annually on the 1st of Rabi al-Awwal, commemorates the bravery and sacrifices of Muhammad Taqur Khan in freeing the Maldives from Portuguese rule. This day stands as a solemn reminder of the enduring spirit that has shaped the nation's independence. U.S. stock slumps at the start of one of the market's historically worst months ahead of data, likely to influence how much the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates.
Market sentiment fell as Institute for Supply Management data on Tuesday showed U.S. manufacturing remained subdued despite a modest improvement in August from an 8-month low in July. The S&P 500 lost 119.47 points or 2.12% to end at 5,528.93 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 577.33 points or 3.26% to 17,136.30. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 625.15 points or 1.51% to 40,936.93. Traders are waiting several labor market reports ahead of Friday's non-farm payroll data for August. The Fed's meeting later in the month will be closely observed following Chair Jerome Powell's recent support for easing the monetary policy. The CME Group's Fed Watch tool showed that odds of a 25 basis point interest rate cut are at 63%, while those for a bigger 50 basis point reduction are at 37%.
United States-US says it is time to finalize the talks for hostage deal and a ceasefire in Gaza.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. Start with some opening comments. Hirsch continued to demonstrate that same courage for the 330 days he spent in Hamas captivity. Tragically, any deal to bring home the hostages will come too late for him. But there are dozens of hostages still remaining in Gaza, still waiting for a deal that will bring them home. It is time to finalize that deal. The people of Israel cannot afford to wait any longer. The Palestinian people, who are also suffering the terrible effects of this war cannot afford to wait any longer. The world cannot afford to wait any longer. Over the coming days, the United States will continue to engage with our partners in the region to push for a final agreement. During talks last week, we made progress on dealing with the obstacles that remain, but ultimately, finalizing an agreement will require both sides to show flexibility. It will require that both sides look for reasons to get to yes, rather than reasons to say no. Ultimately, we want to see those responsible for his death brought to justice. That can happen one of several ways. It could be brought to justice through the judicial system, either an Israeli judicial system, or, of course, while I can't speak for the American judicial system, obviously the Justice Department does look to bring to hold responsible those accountable for the deaths of American citizens. It could also be by bringing terrorists to justice through other means. It could be through terrorists who die on the battlefield in Gaza, including those responsible for his death.
Including, though, but not specifically those responsible for his death. Do you have any hope of finding out who actually was, the individual?
I don't know if
individuals who were actually responsible for them.
I do not know whether we will find out. Yes, I do not know whether we'll find out exactly which individuals were responsible. But ultimately, we hold the Hamas leadership responsible for the death of Hirsch, the death of the other hostages, as we hold them responsible for the deaths on October 7th, as well as, of course, the individual Hamas members who would have been responsible for this particular murder.
Aryna Sabalenka cruises into her fourth consecutive U.S. Open semi-final, while Taylor and Francis set up a blockbuster All-American showdown in the Final Four to delight fans at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Okay, photo please.
Hard-hitting Belarusian Aryna Sabalenka reached her fourth straight U.S. Open semi-final on Tuesday as she rolled past China's Zheng Jingwen 6-1, 6-2. Sabalenka beat Zheng to pick up her second Australian Open title earlier this year and used the same playbook at Arthur Ashe Stadium, where she dominated the 7th seed with her trademark mighty forehand. Fresh off winning the Olympic title, Zheng appeared drained and was missing one of the best weapons in her arsenal, as she only made 44% of her first serves. Sabalenka got a head start when Zheng dropped her serve with an unforced backhand error in the second game, and the second seed went up another break when Zheng sent a forehand into the net in the 6th game. Sabalenka kept the pressure up in the second set, where she put up just 6 unforced errors, and Zheng dropped her serve in the 1st and 5th games after costly backhand mistakes. The Belarusian produced a fine backhand winner at the net on the penultimate point, and she clinched it with an unreturnable serve. She has lost only 4 service games through the tournament to emerge as the firm favourite to add another major title to her 2 Australian Open trophies after losing the Flushing Meadows final to Coco Gauff a year ago. Sabalenka will next play American Emma Navarro. Fritz claimed a tight first set in a tiebreak after the 2 towering players wowed fans with a mixture of powerful baseline blasts and drop shots and winners at the net. Afghans break apart discarded electronics to search for the smattering of gold inside.
Sitting on the floor of a dilapidated workshop in the Afghan border town of Spin Boldak, a group of men break apart discarded electronics to search for the smattering of gold inside. It's a profitable but ultimately doomed trade, as modern electronics are increasingly built with cheaper materials. It's also a trade that comes with significant health risks. But soaring gold prices and easier access in recent years to an acid necessary in the hazardous process have sparked a small revival in the industry. Without the use of gloves or protective masks, the men use pliers or their bare hands to dismantle televisions, computers or mobile phones that have arrived in dumpsters from Japan, Hong Kong or Dubai. The gold, a good thermal and electrical conductor, is extracted from circuit boards and passed down the line to a worker who accumulates the micrograms in a tin basin, while another applies acid to strip it clean. Outside the workshop, toxic yellow smoke rises into the blue sky. Workers have told that the trade of recycling gold returned along with the Taliban government in 2021 when the acid used to separate the valuable metal from other materials became available again. It provides a salary of around $166 a month to each of the 20 staff, an average salary, but one which brings with it significant health risks. In wealthy nations, the same process is achieved safely with the use of technology. In one of the poorest countries in the world, the buying and selling of gold is still a thriving business. At Afghan weddings, brides are adorned with as many gold bangles, necklaces and rings as the families can afford, often getting into debts for years as a result. The tradition of owning jewelry, however, acts as a safety net for all families.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.
In the heart of Maldives, diplomats, resident and non-resident, as well as foreign officers are building bridges between the nations.
And there is going to be a lot of financial resources. We are talking about
really well done.
to the climate.
What does it take with regard to fully harnessing?
Discover the impact of their